Every morning, you stand in front of a mirror. You check your hair, you check your skin, you look directly into your own eyes for 2 full seconds, and move on. You have done this 10,000 times. You have been staring at the answer your entire life. You just never knew the question. Because what you're looking at isn't a color. It isn't brown, it isn't blue, it isn't green. It's a record of every place your ancestors almost died, and you've been walking past it every single morning without reading it. Here's what it actually says. 200,000 years ago, every human on Earth had the same eyes. Dark, almost black, so loaded with pigment that almost no UV radiation could get through. Not because it looked good, because the alternative was blindness. Your earliest ancestors stood within 15 degrees of the equator. The sun didn't hit at an angle, it came straight down, every single day. No season to soften it, just vertical radiation, hammering the same patch of Earth forever. Dark eyes were not a genetic accident. They were armor. 3 millimeters of pigment standing between your ancestors' eyes and permanent blindness. Every human. Same eyes, same armor. For longer than every civilization you have ever heard of combined. Then they started moving, and the armor that kept them alive near the equator started killing them. They walked north, not with a plan, not all at once, just small groups following animals, following food, crossing into latitudes where the sun hit the Earth at an angle instead of straight down. And as they moved north, the sun changed. At 15 degrees north, it still hits hard. At 30, it softens. At 60, Scandinavia and northern Russia, it barely registers for 6 months of the year. Less UV sounds like a relief. It wasn't. Children's legs bent inward, spines curved, jaws that couldn't close properly. Mothers watched infants who survived summer fail before the first snow. Not because of cold, not because of starvation, because of what their bodies could not build without enough sun. Vitamin D. In 2000, biological anthropologist Nina Jablonski at Penn State University mapped skin pigmentation against UV radiation levels across every latitude on Earth. What she found was unambiguous. At the equator, dark skin let in exactly enough UV to produce what the body needed. Pull that same body north to 60 degrees, reduce the UV to almost nothing, and suddenly dark pigment wasn't protection anymore. It was a wall between the body and the only resource keeping it alive. Bones thinned, immune systems surrendered. Children who should have grown strong grew crooked instead. Every single one of them faced the same choice: let more light in, or die slowly through the winter. The original armor was now the original problem. So the body did the only thing it could. It started letting light in. Lighter skin, lighter eyes, less pigment blocking the iris. Slowly, over thousands of generations, the darkness pulled back, latitude by latitude, generation by generation, winter by winter. But nobody told it where to stop. And then something happened that had never happened before. Approximately 10,000 years ago, somewhere near the Black Sea, a single baby was born, with eyes nobody in 200,000 years of human history had ever seen. Blue. Not lighter brown, not hazel. Blue. One mutation, one gene, one change that reduced pigment specifically in the iris, not the skin, not the hair, just the eye. And it should have disappeared. Most mutations do. They arrive in a single body, they don't spread. They vanish inside a generation without leaving a trace. The body tries something new, it doesn't stick, it gets edited out before it can travel. This one didn't. Nobody knows exactly why it spread so fast. Some researchers think it was visibility. Blue eyes were so unusual in a population that had only ever seen brown that they stopped people completely. And in a world where survival depended entirely on being chosen as a mate, as a partner, as someone worth sharing food with through a long winter, being noticed wasn't vanity, it was survival. Others think it was pure accident, a small, isolated population on a coastline, a winter that wiped out everyone around them, a geography that kept one group alive just long enough to pass the mutation forward. No grand reason, no selection pressure, just luck and proximity and time. But whatever the reason, it spread. In 2008, geneticist Hans Eiberg at the University of Copenhagen traced the mutation across thousands of people on 6 continents. Eiberg found something that made his team stop completely. Every single blue-eyed person on Earth shares the exact same mutation. Not a similar mutation, the same one, identical, traceable to one single person standing somewhere near the Black Sea 10,000 years ago. Every blue-eyed person alive today, every blue-eyed person who ever lived, all of them, from that one moment. But blue wasn't the strangest part. The strangest part is what happened to the people who never got blue at all. Green eyes appeared separately, a different group, a different latitude, a different negotiation between the body and the sun. Only 2% of the global population has them, the rarest eye color on Earth. And here's the part nobody talks about. Your green eyes don't contain green pigment, not one molecule. What's actually inside a green iris is a thin layer of amber pigment sitting on top of a reflective base. When light enters, it hits that amber layer, bounces off the base, and comes back out changed. Your brain reads the result as green. It isn't there, it just looks like it is. Green eyes are a trick, physics pretending to be a color. You have been looking at an optical illusion your entire life and calling it a color. Hazel is stranger still. Your hazel eyes don't have one fixed color. Look at them in sunlight, they're gold. Look at them under fluorescent light, they shift green. Look at them in dim light, they pull toward brown. Not because something is wrong with them, because your hazel eyes contain two pigment layers at slightly different densities. Depending on how much light enters, different layers dominate. They are not choosing randomly. They are running the same calculation your ancestors' bodies ran for 200,000 years. How much light is coming in, how much to let through, what the body needs right now. Think about what that means. Every time you walk from a dim room into sunlight and your hazel eyes shift color, that is not a quirk, that is not a flaw. That is 200,000 years of negotiation still running inside your face, still answering the same question those first groups faced when they crossed into latitudes the body had never seen, still doing the job it was built to do before you were born, before your parents were born, before anyone alive today had a name for the color they were looking at. They never stopped solving the problem. They just handed the solution to you. Hazel eyes are not a color. They're a system still running calculations right now, responding to what light is hitting them, what you're wearing, how wide your pupil is at this exact second. Your eye color is not static, it is alive. And here's what all of this actually means. Every eye color on Earth is a solution. Dark, maximum protection near the equator, a shield held up against a vertical sun for 200,000 years. Lighter, maximum vitamin D in the north, armor traded in for survival through a winter the body had never seen. Blue, one mutation near the Black Sea that refused to die, carried by one ancestor into every blue eye alive today. Green, physics pretending to be pigment. Hazel, a system still running calculations. They got it right every single time. You are the proof. Next time you stand in front of that mirror, look a little longer. You are not looking at a color. You are looking at a map of everywhere your ancestors survived, every latitude they crossed, every winter that almost killed them. Every time a body chose to let more light in, it was choosing you over itself.